Anna loved mornings at the airport. The smell of coffee, the sound of rolling suitcases, the voices calling in many languages. It always made her heart beat a little faster. She was 27 and had worked as a flight attendant for 4 years. Sometimes people thought her job was only about smiling and serving drinks. But to Anna, it was much more. It was about helping people feel safe, far above the earth. That morning, she stood in front of a big window, watching the sun rise behind the airplanes. The sky was soft pink and gold. She thought, today will be a good day. Her flight was from London to Istanbul, 4 hours in the air. The crew was small. Captain Lewis, a calm older man, co-pilot Mira, a young woman full of jokes, and 3 attendants, Anna, Karim, and Lily. As they boarded the plane, Anna greeted passengers with her usual warm smile. A young couple holding hands, a mother with a baby, an old man traveling alone. She liked to imagine their stories, where they were going, who they would meet. When everyone was seated, she gave the safety demonstration. She had done it hundreds of times, but she always tried to sound kind and clear. She believed even small care could make a difference. After takeoff, the plane climbed smoothly through light clouds. The cabin lights softened, and passengers relaxed. Some read, some slept, some looked out at the endless blue sky. Anna and Karim pushed the service trolley down the aisle. "Tea or coffee?" she asked with a smile. The baby in seat 1 laughed when she made a funny face. "Full flight today," Karim whispered. "Yes," Anna said. "But nice people. Easy flight, I think." She didn't know that this flight would soon test everything she had learned. After serving meals, Anna went to the galley to tidy up. The radio crackled. Captain Lewis's calm voice came through. "Cabin crew, please take your seats. We expect some turbulence." Anna and Karim quickly put the trolley away and sat down. The plane began to shake. Softly at first, then harder. Some passengers gasped. "Everything is okay," Anna said loudly, smiling to calm them. "Just a little rough air." The turbulence lasted only a minute, but when it stopped, the fastened seatbelt light stayed on. Anna noticed Captain Lewis speaking quickly to the co-pilot. Something in his face looked tense. After 10 minutes, the captain called them to the cockpit. "There's a small problem," he said. His voice was calm but serious. "One of our sensors shows a pressure drop. It might be a system error, but we'll prepare just in case." Anna felt her heart beat faster. She knew what that meant. If the pressure really dropped, oxygen masks would fall, and they'd have to descend quickly. "Should we inform the passengers?" she asked. "Not yet," said Captain Lewis. "Only if the masks deploy. Stay ready." Anna nodded. She returned to the cabin and checked every row, quietly making sure seatbelts were fastened and bags were stored. She didn't want anyone to worry yet. Karim whispered, "Is it serious?" "I don't know," she said. "But let's stay calm." Suddenly, there was a loud ding, and then it happened. Yellow oxygen masks dropped from the ceiling. A few people screamed. Anna's training took over. She pulled down a mask, put it over her face, and shouted through it, "Put on your mask first, before helping others." The plane began to descend quickly. The engines roared, and Anna saw clouds rushing past the windows. but she stayed where she was, helping passengers fit their masks, checking that children were safe. Her hands shook a little, but her voice stayed steady. After several long minutes, the captain spoke over the speaker. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have experienced a temporary loss of cabin pressure. The situation is under control. Please remain seated with your masks on." Hannah exhaled slowly. Temporary. That word gave her hope. As the plane leveled out, the air pressure returned to normal. The captain announced they would make an emergency landing in Athens as a safety measure. Anna looked around. Some passengers were crying quietly. Others held hands. A few smiled at her, as if to say thank you. She moved down the aisle, checking on each person. "You're safe now," she said softly to the mother with the baby. The woman nodded, tears in her eyes. When Anna reached the back row, she noticed the old man from earlier, breathing hard. His face was pale. "Sir, are you okay?" she asked. I think I'm fine," he said, but his hand clutched his chest. Anna called Karim for help. Together, they found the medical kit and the oxygen bottle. She remembered her first aid training. Stay calm, act fast. She knelt beside the man, gave him oxygen, and spoke gently until his color returned. "You're doing great," she said. Inside, her heart was still racing. When she stood up again, she saw passengers, watching her eyes full of worry, but also trust. In that moment, Anna understood something. This is why I love this job. Not the travel, not the uniform, but the chance to help when it matters most. 30 minutes later, the plane landed safely in Athens. Emergency vehicles waited by the runway, flashing lights bright in the sun. As they stopped, the passengers applauded that soft wave of clapping that sometimes happens after a hard flight. Anna smiled, but felt tears in her eyes. The medical team entered to check the old man and a few frightened passengers. Everyone was okay. When they finally stepped out of the plane, Anna looked back once more. The airplane stood silent now, like a giant bird resting after a storm. Captain Lewis came over. "Good work today, Anna," he said simply. "Thank you, Captain. You kept everyone calm. That matters more than you think." Anna nodded. The sky above Athens was bright blue, with no sign of trouble. She felt tired but proud, and somehow more alive than ever. At the airport terminal, the airline gave them a small rest area while mechanics checked the plane. Anna sat near the window with a cup of tea. Her hands still trembled a little from the adrenaline. Lily sat beside her. "I thought you were so calm," she said. "I was shaking the whole time." Anna smiled. "I was shaking too. I just didn't show it." They both laughed softly. Outside, the damaged plane glimmered in the sun. Mechanics moved around it like busy ants. Karim came over with snacks. "They say it might have been a frozen valve," he said. "Lucky it didn't get worse." Anna nodded. "We were lucky and prepared." She checked her phone. Dozens of messages from friends and family. "Are you okay?" "We saw the news." She replied to each one. "I'm fine. Everyone's fine." But inside, she kept replaying the moment the masks dropped, that sudden fear, the sound of people gasping, the weight of responsibility. Later that night, the crew stayed in a small hotel near the airport. Anna couldn't sleep. She went out onto the balcony, breathing the cool air. She looked up at the stars and whispered, "Thank you." She wasn't sure to whom. Maybe the sky itself. The next morning, before they left for the airport again, Anna received a folded note from the hotel reception. It was from the old man she had helped. "Dear Miss Anna, thank you for staying with me when I was afraid. You reminded me that kindness is the best kind of courage. I was traveling to Istanbul to meet my granddaughter for the first time. Because of you, I still can. With gratitude, Mr. Bennett." Anna read the note twice, her eyes filled with tears. She pressed it to her heart and smiled. 2 days later, Anna was back on duty. The same uniform, the same routine, but something inside her had changed. Before takeoff, she stood at the cabin door, greeting passengers as always. A little boy waved at her shyly. "Hi, miss." "Hello there," she said with a grin. "Ready to fly?" He nodded. As the plane lifted into the sky, Anna felt a quiet peace. She thought about fear, how it could turn into strength if you kept your heart open. When they reached cruising altitude, she looked out the window. The clouds rolled below like soft white waves. Somewhere far beneath, Athens was already a memory. Kareem walked past and said, "You're smiling again." "I guess I can't help it," she said. Halfway through that flight, Anna heard a small commotion in row 20. A young woman was crying quietly, holding her phone. Anna went to her and knelt beside the seat. "Are you okay?" she asked gently. My grandmother passed away," the woman said, tears falling. "I just got the message. I'm flying home, but I wasn't there." Anna put a hand on her shoulder. "I'm so sorry." She didn't know what else to say, but sometimes silence said enough. After a moment, Anna asked, "Would you like some water? Or tea?" "Tea, please." When Anna brought it, she added a small chocolate biscuit on the tray. The woman smiled weakly. "Thank you." Anna said softly, "I lost someone too. I know how it feels. Just breathe. The sky is big enough to hold all our tears." The woman looked at her with surprise, then nodded. As Anna walked back to the galley, she realized she had repeated something her own mother used to say. The sky is big enough to hold all our tears. Months passed. The story of that flight appeared briefly in the news. Pressure problem forces safe landing. But for most people, it was just another headline. For Anna, it was a turning point. She became a senior flight attendant, training new crew members. She told them, "Remember, people don't only travel with luggage. They travel with their fears, their dreams, their hearts. Our job is to carry all that gently." Sometimes, she still thought of Mr. Bennett and his note. She kept it in her travel bag, folded neatly. One day, on a flight from Rome to Paris, a little girl asked, "Aren't you scared of flying?" Anna smiled. "No," she said. "The sky takes care of us when we take care of each other." The girl giggled. "You sound like a superhero." Anna laughed. "Maybe just Late one evening, after landing in Istanbul again, Anna opened her phone. There was a new message from an unknown number. "Hello, Miss Anna. This is Sarah Bennett, Mr. Bennett's granddaughter. My grandfather passed away last week. He often talked about you. He said you gave him courage that day in the air. I wanted to tell you that he kept your name written in his notebook. He said you were his guardian of the sky. Thank you for being kind. Anna read the message slowly. Her throat tightened. She sat down, closed her eyes, and took a deep breath. Through the window, she could see the night sky over Istanbul, full of stars. She whispered, "Safe travels, Mr. Bennett." A tear rolled down her cheek, but she smiled. That night, Anna stayed at her hotel near the airport. She couldn't sleep, so she took a walk outside. The runway lights shone in the distance. Planes were landing, taking off, their wings glowing like fireflies. She thought about all the people up there, flying between worlds, some happy, some scared, some sad, and all of them trusting people like her to keep them safe. She sat on a bench, looking up. The air smelled of jet fuel and sea wind. Somewhere far away, thunder rolled, but here it was calm. A stray cat jumped up beside her. Anna smiled and stroked its fur. "You're not afraid of the noise, huh?" She took out Mr. Bennett's note again. The paper was soft now, from being opened so many times. "Kindness is the best kind of courage." She read it once more, then folded it back carefully. Early morning light touched the horizon. Anna watched as another plane took off, its engines roaring softly, lifting into the clouds. She felt a strange mix of sadness and peace. The sky was no longer just her workplace. It had become a kind of mirror, showing her who she really was. She whispered, "Maybe we never stop learning how to fly, even on the ground." Her phone buzzed. A new flight assignment. London again. She smiled. Full circle. Back in her room, she packed her bag, uniform folded neatly, shoes polished, Mr. Bennett's note tucked inside. She looked in the mirror and saw the same face as always, but the eyes were different, steadier, softer. As she left the hotel, she said quietly, "Let's go, Sky. I'm ready." Hours later, at 30,000 feet, Anna stood by the galley window. The world below was covered with clouds, white and endless. She thought of all the moments that had brought her here. Fear, kindness, courage, loss, and how they all floated together like clouds in one sky. Captain Lewis's voice came over the intercom again, calm as always. "Cabin crew, prepare for landing." Anna smiled. She turned to the cabin and saw faces, some smiling, some sleeping, some dreaming. She felt the gentle vibration of the plane descending and whispered to herself, "Every landing is a new beginning." Outside, the horizon glowed gold.